Caden and his younger brother Liam survived the apocalypse. They saved 2 spirit eggs at the cost of their lives. Liam didn't hesitate at all. He snatched the fire phoenix girl from the dragon egg, leaving Caden with the ice serpent girl from the frost dragon egg. But then a scorching apocalypse suddenly struck. Protected by the ice serpent girl, Caden safely endured the extreme heat. Meanwhile, the fire phoenix Liam took couldn't handle the intense flames. She burned to death in the blistering heat. With his dying breath, Liam glared at Caden with pure hatred. He cursed him and turned the ice serpent girl against Caden, who then strangled him to death. When Caden opened his eyes again, they had both been reborn. Back to the day the 2 spirit eggs first hatched. This time Liam once again quickly claimed the ice serpent girl. He thought having her by his side would guarantee his survival through the heat, but he didn't know her powers came with a terrible price. She required daily blood to sustain her abilities. Last time Caden was drained dry. The agony of being strangled was still fresh in his memory. Caden glanced at the ice serpent girl beside him. He couldn't help but shudder. According to the beastkin traditions, they were bound to marry the one who saved their life. Originally Caden was meant to take the fire phoenix, but Liam disliked the ice serpent's cold and aloof appearance, so he stole the fire phoenix Caden had saved. Could have predicted that a month later, the global climate would drastically change. The scorching apocalypse officially began. True to her name, the ice serpent possessed a cooling power. She could drastically lower the temperature within 3 meters. The fire phoenix was her complete opposite. Liam, who stole the fire phoenix, ended up burning to death in the extreme heat, while Caden, shielded by the ice serpent's power, was unaffected by the deadly temperatures. Liam convinced himself Caden stole his destined partner, so before dying he manipulated the ice serpent into killing Caden. Caden tried to explain himself, but Liam cut him off immediately. Liam declared the ice serpent was his. Now he would take her and Caden could have the fire phoenix. Liam eagerly wrapped his arm around the ice serpent. Girl's slender waist. Caden realized Liam had also been reborn. A slight smile touched Caden's lips. He had been wondering how to get the fire phoenix back. Liam only knew about the ice serpent's cooling ability. He had no idea it required daily fresh blood to maintain. Not only that, but her fangs carried a potent venom. Every feeding session was pure torture. The toxin spreading through the veins made life unbearable. In their past life under Liam's constant manipulation, Caden had been drained to the brink of death. In a way, he should thank Liam for ending his suffering quickly. This time Liam would get to experience it himself. The daily agony of being bitten by those venomous fangs. In the previous life, the ice serpent girl was reluctant to go with Caden. She only obeyed due to her clan's ancient laws, and reluctantly became his wife. But now, hearing Liam wanted to take her, she didn't wait for Caden's response. She slithered over to Liam's side, her tongue flickering. Her voice was cold and dismissive. As she spoke, she told Caden that since Liam wanted to take her home, she belonged to him now and Caden should stop bothering her. Caden realized it wasn't just him and Liam who had been reborn. Liam heard the ice serpent's words. His face lit up with barely concealed triumph. He looked at Caden, his voice dripping with smugness. He asked Caden what he thought of that. This was the ice serpent's own choice. Caden could just take that worthless phoenix home. Caden gave a light chuckle. He said if that's what his brother wanted, he wouldn't stand in his way. As Liam walked past Caden, he deliberately slowed down and gave him a haughty look. He lowered his voice and whispered to Caden. He said Caden had no idea the scorching apocalypse was coming. If the day ever came when Caden couldn't take it, and begged at his feet, he might be generous enough to lend him the ice serpent. For a few days Caden smiled to himself. Liam had no clue why the ice serpent really chose him. Caden didn't look back at them. He turned to the newly hatched fire phoenix in the corner. She was huddled up, her feathers still damp and unkempt. Her whole body was trembling uncontrollably. It was a fear etched deep into her bones. Only when she heard Liam say he'd take the ice serpent did her tense body relax a little, but she still didn't dare look up. Caden walked over and softly told her to come with him. She flinched violently and shrank back, asking if Caden really wanted her. He reached out to gently touch her head, but she shut her eyes reflexively. Her entire body went rigid. She even leaned her forehead forward slightly. She pleaded with him not to hit her, saying she didn't mean to. Caden froze his hand in midair. A heavy weight settled in his chest. He asked her why he would hit her. He told her to look at him. After a long hesitation, she slowly opened her eyes. There was no hatred in them, only a deep, almost numb terror. In that instant Caden understood she had been reborn too. He started to ask if Liam had. Before he could finish, she curled into a tight ball. She begged him not to talk about him. Her wings clamped tightly around herself, as if she'd been physically stabbed. Tears tinged with blood welled in the corners of her eyes. Caden didn't press further. He simply drew her into a protective embrace. His movements were careful, not overly familiar. He just shielded her. He reassured her that everything was okay now. The fire phoenix girl's body still trembled slightly, but she didn't pull away after a long while. She finally spoke in a whisper. She asked Caden why he had taken her. He looked down at her, his voice calm. He said because she was his. It wasn't out of pity or charity, it was just the truth. Caden left with the fire phoenix girl without looking back. She followed closely behind him the whole way, as if afraid she might be abandoned at any moment. After walking quite a distance, she finally spoke up. She asked Caden where they were going home. He replied, but it was a bit far. There were no cars here, she might have to walk with him for a while, he said, looking at her. The fire phoenix blinked and spoke timidly. She said if Caden didn't mind, she could take him home. She bent down, offering her back for him to climb on. Caden felt a bit embarrassed. She insisted it was okay. He could get on and she would fly them both back, not wanting to refuse her kindness. Caden climbed onto her back. He started to tell her which way to fly. She said she didn't need directions. She knew where he lived. Caden was puzzled and was about to ask how she knew when the fire phoenix spoke again. She said they were home. They had already arrived. Caden was amazed by her speed. It was faster than any airplane. She said airplanes were nothing. She was from the Phoenix clan. After all, she lifted her head with a touch of pride. This was the first time Caden really looked at her. She seemed innocent and pure. Her lovely face full of youthful naivety and sweetness, completely different from the ice serpent, whose dark eyes held an unfathomable malice and a coldness that didn't match her age. The fire phoenix asked Caden if he wasn't going to praise her. Her eyes looked at him with a hint of expectation. Caden sighed and said she was so good. How could anyone treat her so badly? As soon as he said it, he knew it was a mistake. When he looked at the fire phoenix again, the light in her eyes had dimmed. He quickly apologized. He said he was sorry. He didn't mean to bring it up. The fire phoenix gave a bitter smile. She said the name he called her was nice. Then she asked if she was just a useless phoenix. Before Caden could answer, she continued. She said Liam told her she was useless, that she only made him hotter. Unlike the ice serpent, he said. She ruined everything for him. He plucked her feathers one by one, stabbed her with needles, broke her beak with pliers, and finally snapped her wings before throwing her out to die. Compared to the ice serpent, was she really that worthless? She asked Caden again why he had brought her home. She was just a useless phoenix. Caden had suspected Liam mistreated her, but he never imagined such cruelty. Liam was the one who chose her. No one could have predicted the scorching apocalypse. Why blame her for everything? Caden reassured her that wasn't true. He told her to listen. She wasn't what Liam said. She was amazing, far better than he claimed. She said she knew Caden was just trying to make her feel better, but it was okay. She already felt a little better. She forced a smile to ease Caden's worry. He insisted he wasn't just comforting her. She was 1,000 times better than the ice serpent. He told her a secret he had been reborn to. Her eyes suddenly lit up. Caden told her about his past life, how the ice serpent abused him, draining his blood daily and ultimately killing him. He shared everything. The fire phoenix seemed deeply surprised by his story. She said that according to their beastkin traditions, they owed absolute loyalty to their savior. No matter how they were treated, they had to endure it. Breaking this ancient rule carried a severe punishment. How could the ice serpent dare do that to him? Caden shook his head with a bitter smile. He said he didn't know either. He asked her what the punishment was. She wasn't sure of the details, only that it was supposed to be extremely severe. Caden said not to worry about it for now. He LED her to sit on the couch. He said the scorching apocalypse was almost here. They needed to start preparing. They thought it over. Buying air conditioners was useless during the apocalypse. The power and water systems would fail. Finally, Caden decided to go to his family's rural property and dig a very deep cellar. Cellars stayed cool in summer and warm in winter. Most importantly, they didn't need any equipment to stay cool. It was the perfect solution. The fire phoenix was not only fast, but incredibly strong. She dug a cellar over 300 feet deep in less than a week, and during the digging they even hit an underground water source. So now they had solved both temperature and water. Caden rode on the fire phoenix's back, down to the very bottom of the cellar. As soon as they descended, a chill enveloped him, a stark contrast to the heat above ground. Seeing him shiver, the fire phoenix quickly used her power to raise the surrounding temperature to a comfortable level. Caden said they had solved temperature and water, but what about food? That was simple. She said she could dig another larger cellar nearby. They could plant seeds underground with sunlight and groundwater. Once the scorching apocalypse hit, the temperature down there would be perfect for plants to grow. They just needed to prepare 1 month's worth of food and wait for the seeds to sprout. Caden and the fire phoenix divided the work and managed to get everything ready just before the apocalypse began.